chit-chat. I thought before we started and asked questions, and it's very loose, it's very informal, I actually try to call these talk withs instead of talk backs, because it always sounds like I'm gonna sass somebody off, you know, so, it's a talk with. And we'll just loosely ask questions, or you can ask questions. But before I do that, I thought I'd maybe talk a little bit about the process of how this particular show this play ended up here, so that you guys know. So what happened is we put out a call. I work with Seamus Farah, who is the literary manager here, also my son, and kick-ass.
And a fabulous director.
Yeah.
And a fabulous director, yes. And we put out a call for scripts. And there's a couple of criteria that he sort of sets up, but essentially they need to be written by older or senior playwrights and have themes around stuff about aging and living life and so forth. So we take all of these submissions, and then I get 3 adjudicators who get the scripts but with the names of the playwrights redacted. So they don't know, there's no bias, they just read them and they choose. And these are what float to the top. Or, you know, not to the top, but what float that they feel are ready to be heard or, you know, touch something. So this one and then Mary's Tomorrow are the 2 that came up. And I will say it's competitive. Like when we first started doing this 3 years ago, there was maybe 8, 6 this year, gotta say 89.
What?
89 submissions.
Wow, way to go.
So, yeah, right? Which is very, very cool for us. Like, that's extraordinary for us. It's very exciting. So, I wanted to let you know that's how that happened and how Peter's play ended up here. So, essentially, it's very loose. I guess I'm interested in hearing what you thought. If you have questions, Peter can't answer them, but certainly Jonna probably can, and the actors,
We'll
and
make things up.
Fraser, you know, and if not, we just choose something over and see where it goes. So, anybody have a question, or I can throw something out there? Yes, you see, I knew it would
I
happen.
was just thinking, is it, so what could possibly happen next with this very interesting piece that, now that it's had this opportunity here? Is there-
Well, I mean, that's something I'll look at, and, cause I loved it, you know, loved it.
You.
I mean, is there anything that's connected to, or is this like?
Well, one of
this
the
is
reasons I do this,
is so-
and again, I wanna focus really more for the playwright, feedback he'll get from hearing from this, but one of the reasons I wanted to start this was for me to find ways to discover new plays that maybe I could support the development of and bring to full production. So that's one of the reasons for this festival, you know, so we'll see, right? But that's, yeah, I loved it. But, you know, I'm programming, funding's a big issue, programming 2 years out is a big issue, it is, Peter, and, yeah. But I'd like to focus on, for the playwright, the feedback, what he might have, you know, if there's anything, and maybe there's not, I don't know. Yes,
First, beautiful, beautiful job, terrific humor, I understood, it was lovely, lovely, words and reading, pathos. And I'll only focus on the things that I didn't understand, and that was after the 2 of you slept together, Simon became very, terrifically cutting.
He became which?
Terrifically mean
Mm.
in a way that, and it's probably my perspective, that I just thought it was so mean. And I didn't know if that was an issue for directing, or whether, if it was.
Well, can you remember, so it's, when they wake up the next morning and he puts his back out, right? That's
Puts
the.
it back out, and then it's a little bit, 10 minutes in, past that, there was just a section where, for me, it
Right.
became jarringly mean.
Simon
Sorry.
became me.
Simon. And I didn't know whether that was just my mistracking it, or whether that even came up with your radar.
It isn't, I mean, there's cruelty at different times in the play, and I think when I read it, what I felt it was that there was a lot of defenses, and there's Simon has a long road to travel from, hey, we were just friends, to you're the love of my life. So when he was prickly, I saw it as that struggle that he was having with all the things about himself that he was having to reconsider. But I don't know, Tom, because we didn't talk about it today, because
Well, it may, who knows, we got the script, just last week. I think I read it maybe once or twice, then we come and we have a reading with us here and figure out what we're gonna do, and then we present it to you. We don't have a rehearsal to work through stuff that we think might be out of balance. I know for me, I was simply trying to keep Simon's spine, at the same time trying to tell him what I liked about him, how much I wanted to stay. With his defenses about stay away, keep away, I don't want you here. And me insisting at some point, and I think it's after the fact, that I want to stay. So maybe I was being mean, but I think I was just trying to make sure that he understood that because he kept pushing me away, I was pushing back to want to stay. But a 3-week rehearsal, who knows where we
4 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, beautiful work.
Yeah.
there was a hand over here before.
It was here, but I think I had mixed up the characters. It made perfect sense to me that you would
Brogan.
that you would be angry, like you finally get to tell him what you fucking thought about him after all those years. But I think maybe I misconstrued what you were thinking of, so I'll shut up now.
No, don't, it's
No, no,
okay,
no.
it's a good conversation.
I have a couple questions, because again, it was just such a lovely performance all across the board. You guys just nailed it. I had a couple questions, because I think I missed it because I was so involved in your performances. What year are we looking at right now? What's the timeline? What is the
Currently?
So it is current.
I think so.
Yeah.
So one of my things with by the way, the young gentleman here, phenomenal performance, just lovely. But one of the things that I felt about that character was in this day and age, because our son is 18 years old, dealing or finding out about homosexuality in this day and age wouldn't be as extreme. Now I do understand that it's his grandfather, but I did feel that the writing, not the acting, was more shocking in a sense that of what would have been maybe 15, 20 years ago about homosexuality as compared to now.
I think that's a good note, actually.
Yeah.
You're right, I have a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be a little surprised if he found it.
It's
But
his
I know what
grandma.
you mean.
Yeah.
It's much more in their
I
lives.
believe, yeah, it's way more accepted, especially by this generation.
Yeah.
But I mean, lovely performance, like all across the board, it was great. But the writing, I think, was maybe.
I think it's an easy, I agree with you, a little bit, but I think that's an easy fix, and I think it's a really
Yeah.
smart thing
Good opportunity, actually.
to
Yeah.
fix that up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I must say that, you guys gonna, okay.
Sorry, I'm just focused here.
Hey,
I touched a nerve.
one voice at a time, please.
I must say that, and I talked about this in rehearsal, that as wonderful and as allied as we all are, this world doesn't really fucking care about
Yeah, yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there.
it. If it did, during the Olympics, the Sochi Olympics, there would not have been anybody who would have represented because of what he was doing to gay people
Yeah,
in Russia.
exactly.
If it had been any other minority, group of people, there would have been boycotts.
Yeah.
As it was, the liberal democracy of the West sent lesbians and gay people and, people to, it's great, However, sometimes it's just us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just
Yeah.
fucking us.
Yeah.
And,
And he also does set him up as not being very good at math
Yeah.
or in a couple other things. I'm just saying, just,
Yeah.
He does come from a
I'm just
smaller
playing
town.
devil's
Yeah,
advocate,
that's
and he's
true.
also,
Yeah.
he's also from a small town
Yeah.
in rural Ontario.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's been living in Vancouver.
No, exactly,
But
yeah.
he does have,
Yeah.
he does have an iPad, he is hooked up.
Yeah.
So, I think you're right, that there
Yeah.
probably is,
I'm not saying that there isn't been vast
No, no, of
changes
course
in
not.
the world, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
I personally going into adjudicating things in high school and going into drama classes these days, the first time I did that, I just fucking wept.
Yeah.
Because there's signs everywhere that you're okay for being gay, and, you know, it's a sanctuary. And it makes me very proud and happy that the sanctuary comes through drama.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. You know, we try to understand humans. That's all we ever do. We talk about humans and why humans do certain things and why they don't. We try to portray them. And so anyway, I don't want to sound like we haven't come enough, far enough. You know, it's not that. Well, we haven't, but anyway.
Go Fraser, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that super quickly. I'm Fraser, I'm the stage manager.
And a really good one.
Yeah, thank you. But I identify as gay and non-binary, and theater is one of the only places I have felt fully accepted, no matter where I go. And that's why I keep coming back here to PAL and Western Gold, because like, it doesn't really matter who I am here, as long as I can do my job great. But it's also like such a big point of pride in myself to be the person that I am today and explicit about that. But yeah, theater is like the one place consistently throughout my life that I've always felt accepted. So we
Yeah.
have made beautiful strides, but
Yep, it's great.
homophobia exists everywhere, as does acceptance. So it's interesting.
And I think that's actually kind of sorry, I thought you
Please
a
follow
lovely
that.
thing about this play is that actual generational thing, because the acceptance is so beautiful now, but as a result, sometimes the understanding of the pain to get there is not really because it's accepted. So we don't get what people have gone through for this acceptance, and I think that really resonated for me,
Yeah.
to see this struggle. And
Yeah.
someone go, yeah, I get you're gay, it's my dad, but you know, you go, not a real understanding
Yeah.
of that, and that for me really came out of that, which I thought was beautiful, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that
yeah.
speech that Brogan has about, you know, you didn't do any of this. You didn't
Yeah.
do any of these fucking things, so you have no right. And it's like, that's not how I feel exactly, but, it is, you have to, that is such an important fucking thing. Because I grew up when this was an offense. It was an offense. You could be jailed for it. And I had to live through that.
Until
Knowing-
1968, that's how late
68,
they
Pierre
changed
Trudeau
the law.
changed it here. The state has no business in the government, the veterans of the nation. Hooray. And it's been a long process since then to get to where we are. And I'm sorry, but the homophobia that I experienced as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, that formed who I am. I hate myself in my own gut because I was born that way. It's taken me a lifetime to try and get over that. And it just really is, because that's my default position. It's like, you're a fag, you're a blah, 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 blah. And it's not sad or anything like that, it's just what is. And that's why I do anything, it's like try and hold up younger people, make them feel better, tell them they're fucking great. They look pretty or whatever, you know. Give them stories. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up.
It's good, Bobby.
I just wanted to,
Go
first of all, I
1, 2,
think
3, yeah.
I echo everything that's already been said here, to not repeat myself, but in terms of the structure of the play, just to go really technical, I felt because of the hidden story.
Yeah.
That really dropped like a whew. I felt it was too, for me, too quick, too fast, that they had their sexual relation off the top, almost off the top of the play. I find it almost problematic in the sense that they do have so far a road to travel. So I was just curious from the actor's point when you have that character and you know both of these two characters, Simon and Brogan, have a huge journey to go through to reveal a lot. What was the motivation for these two to consummate physically so soon? I found it too early almost. I felt like they needed to, I don't know, either apologize or connect a little longer before going into that consummation. So I was just curious how you guys felt about that. I almost wanted it later.
Well, dealing with this process, you jump in and you go as fast as you can.
As you can, yeah.
You can't spend time too much thinking about too many things or asking too many questions.
I was just thinking more for Peter as the playwright, just for us to have like a discussion about it.
Is it like, I might be about to say something, I might wake up later and go, oh, I wish I hadn't said that, but what the heck?
Say it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, is it just kind of reductive to say like, that's kind of a guy thing? Like.
Yeah.
Is it just
kind of a guy thing.
I don't know, sorry.
The characters, is it a physical, they just couldn't.
It's been a while for both of them.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, 45 years for me.
But knowing the weight of what the truth is, that was a big decision to make.
Yeah, but,
Or
you know,
maybe it was no decision.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right with you.
And
I
that
think
just
something happened then.
impulse.
I'll think later.
Or it's like instead of talking,
Is it again?
instead of talking,
Instead of talking.
Yeah.
easier than.
Because the scene happens so quickly and it
Yeah.
just really, and we wake up.
Yeah,
So I'm out of the room, so it's already a fait accompli.
yes.
And so we've had it, and we don't discuss really what we do. There's some things we say that, you were pretty good last night.
Just
blah,
a
blah,
little,
blah, blah.
yeah.
Just a tiny bit. But I think that there is I think it's a man thing, guy thing, I mean, it's like, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I buy that.
It's just who we are,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
I was just wondering how much weight you had, to make the decision, but I guess it's a man thing, yeah.
Well,
You
I
don't
think
think?
too, I'm gonna speak something too, Michael Farah, I love you, but I'm gonna tell a little very quick story. But I had a gentleman when I lived in London many years ago that I was wacky doodle over. Wacky doodle, like I was madly in love with this man. And because it didn't work out between us, I left the country. And I came back and I met my beautiful husband, we got married, and we went back. But this man, and Michael knows this, so it's all, that I have a literally physical reaction to this man to this day. And so we went back, I thought it was gonna be fine, and I saw him and my heart went, my hands shook, I was like this, and he was the same, we were like, ooh. But it was like, I've never had an experience like that kind of electrical,
Wow.
like, whoa, and I behaved myself.
Well done.
Because I was married, but, and I made the right choice, but I understood this. Like, I think it is a man thing, like, we get a little more control, but I was like literally my hands, I could feel electrics coming out of my fingers,
In
and,
the staging of it, that would be a really neat thing to see
Yes.
that real electric line.
Yeah.
But it does start, the play starts at 8 o'clock on one day, on Saturday. And it's the sleeping together doesn't happen till Sunday night. So it's like 48 hours, but we jumped over scene changes. So,
Okay, so
and
maybe-
explanations of the scene change.
I love it when people chew this up so much, I think it's fantastic, right? Yeah.
So 2 days with guys is
It's
Way
too long.
It's
Way
way
too
too long.
long.
I'm gonna go to Melanie next, and then John, cause I think that was the road that it went, and I've got someone here too. So help me, Jonna, make sure I keep them.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I
Melanie.
think mine is out of step with where we've gone so far, but, I didn't have a single problem about what you were just describing. It made total sense to me, cause it's a couple of guys.
Those goddamn guys.
Ah,
Especially
good
those
on
old
ya.
ones.
Those old guys.
I once saw a friend in Montreal I had not seen for years, who I still had the hots for. And I'm tired, I've come across the country, I'm tired. I lie down, and within 3 seconds, we're both of us like, gotta do it now.
I think my point was
It's
only
not just
because
guys.
of that secret. That secret is a big
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
a big
right.
thing to not discuss and both
Yeah.
those emotions.
But that secret is so ancient and
Yeah.
so buried that it
But
is
you
not
can't-
even my history. Like, I don't even
Gotcha.
deal with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's only through the play, it's just circumstances lead me to tell that secret. Because I don't think I would have told that secret even.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm gonna move, if that's okay. Mr. John.
Okay, I want to give the play credit for teaching me. Peter, hi, John Lazarus, back in Vancouver. We got to get together sometime when you're back in town. Hi, nice to see you. I want to give the play credit because at first, and I was saying this to Melanie, I thought it was a little old-fashioned that Tom's character would live his entire life in the closet. We're living in the West End. I'm straight and an ignoramus, but I look around and I see elderly same-sex couples and I go, oh, it's great, everybody's out of the closet, now that's over. And I think this play is, and Alan's shaking his head, I think this play is reminding me that there are probably a great many people out there for whom the closet is still wrapped around them.
Yeah.
And I wanna
Until
thank
their
Peter
father
for-
dies, or
sorry, sir?
until they graduate, until they finish teaching. And then there's a lot of reasons, there's myriad, I think there was like, how many UBC professors did
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
Yeah,
they
depending on
live
work,
their lives.
depending on all kinds of circumstances.
Sure,
Yeah.
and it happens still. I never anymore, Harvey Milk, come out, everybody come out, it's really important. I never, put anybody down. If you need to be in the closet, you need to be in
Yeah.
the closet, I totally understand.
Firestein said there's no shame in hiding, and, yeah.
Because
So I
know
wanna
what
thank Peter
it
for
can
that
happen.
in this.
What can happen
Beautiful,
Yeah.
yeah.
when you come out.
Yeah, you can't go back in, really.
Your life can change,
Yeah.
you know.
That's right.
I mean, it does change, but sometimes it's worse.
I really like how the stage directions were handled. 'Cause
Yeah.
I do this.
That's
I-
the queen.
I do that.
Oh, that's
And it's interesting to know that there were some cuts that were made and some things weren't talked about or
Yeah,
talked about.
we tried to, like, the more you can show instead of tell, right, the better. But there was something that was just like, there's no way we're doing that, so, thank you. That was basically our whole afternoon.
Yeah, really. That's the work of this work
Yeah.
today, yeah.
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
It's good.
Thank
I wanted him to come back though.
You wanted Simon
It
to
was a
come
sad
back?
ending. I
Was
don't
it
want
sad
it to be a
ending?
happy ending.
Yeah, well, we've already sketched out part 2, like the sequel, will be
You say that.
Yeah, and I think you could tighten this up, make it a 1 act, and the second act is like a year later or so. Yeah.
I think we sort of, at the end, because it's a lovely thing, that I give the piece of Sandsprite pottery to my grandson, and, who wanted it at the beginning. But it's kind of nebulous, that whole thing, but we sort of went, you know what, I think if he's my family, then this is in this family, and it's gonna stay in this family, and he has a set too. And so to me, there's a connection coming up.
Yeah.
Like something will connect in the future.
And I didn't get, because, just so you guys know, I had not read this play. I had not anything. I kept myself completely out of the process. So I let that adjudicator do it and land it, and so I keep out of it. And so for me to hear it, and I actually found it not a sad ending, I felt, okay, this is just tomorrow, and he's gone out the door now, but he's gonna think, and they're gonna come back, and they're gonna figure out, there's gonna be this young person who's going to kind of, and who knows what's gonna happen next week.
It's
Because
funny,
it's
that's
all
what
about
these guys-
forgiveness,
these
right?
guys said that, but I came in going, well, obviously, they can't be together after this, and and these guys are like, of course
You
they
go,
can.
of course they can. I read, of course
Yeah.
they can. And he's gonna go away and go, right? And they're gonna come together, and you know this, and this young gentleman is gonna go, hey,
Well, he's got the two grandfathers now.
right?
And he
And
likes
it's gonna
that
be-
dishware.
Yeah. Actually, I thought that
It
like,
should be,
at
yeah.
the beginning of the afternoon, we were just talking about kind of what we thought the play was about, and Blake said legacy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then by the end, I was like, oh yeah, it's totally, because that's the it's to me, it's like, take this brown plate, accept this story. This is the story of our family, of your family, and so you're right. It does now feel to me like, oh, and now we go forward from here. We don't know how.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, nobody on this side, cause I keep on going this side, I wanna make sure I haven't missed any hands here.
Mm.
Okay, Susan and then yes.
There's a line in this play, great play, but it hit me that you, Tom, put the dishes in the closet. And
So
was putting
true.
the dishes in
Yeah.
the closet,
Yeah.
that it just stuck.
And he's got them out there.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
Yeah, not
We
just
went
any
back in
closet,
the
the
closet with
utility
dishes.
closet.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question.
Oh.
But just praise that it was wonderful. I've not been to many stage readings, and these were one of my few new ones. And I didn't know what to feel or how it would be, but I feel every emotion was there. I could connect so well. You guys were very, very nice. I could connect to each of you. I was right there with you. It was just wonderful. And I feel, yeah, the ending was a bit sad, but more, I think you guys, in the story, the characters are more of a family now, much more than how it started. So,
Yeah.
it was
We
wonderful.
love you.
Love
Well, it's, first of all, you haven't been to theater a lot, you said, you just,
Not a lot of reading.
and so,
just reading.
great, here you are, and you've enjoyed it, and that's so important. We got one!
Yes.
I had a question for Alan is your, because when we find out the secret later on,
Mhm.
I start to look back on what happened in the first part of the play.
Mhm.
As an actor, as your character, when did you first realize he was your grandson? What moment in
I
the
knew
play?
all along,
Yeah,
I have known all along,
yeah,
but I tried to repress it, I tried to.
yeah, of course,
hide it.
because you can't,
Right,
it's
because
not
as soon as Cy came in,
yeah.
because if you know Cy is Cy, then you know that Campbell's the grandson.
Yeah,
And that's the line you were like,
yeah, as soon as I see Cy, and I know that, that he's the grandson, then I know that he's mine.
yeah. But of course you can't give that away, because obviously.
No, I just can't, you can't, and it's,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, as an actor, I think it's really hard. I think humans lie really well. That's what we
All
do,
the
we can
time.
lie about anything,
All the time.
and no one will ever know. And as an actor, sometimes my mistake is, I gotta let them know that I'm lying.
Yeah.
And, but I think it works better if you don't let them know you're lying.
Yeah.
And that's taken me a few roles to get through to that, and then it's like, you know what, I think it's better if I just gonna go on until I can't go on anymore, and then I go, but, I couldn't deal with that because it would skew the play a lot.
Yeah.
So I had to pretend that he was not my grandson, that he was in fact Cy's grandson. Until it got to a point where can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
think
have a question for everybody, actually. So it's going back to what Karen was saying. Next steps, do you think this one is ready for a full production? That's my next question to you guys.
Yeah.
That's a question to you guys.
Yeah, that's good.
Would you come? Would you see it?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Absolutely.
Over on this side. We've heard a lot from you guys. Like, over here, like, what was it that touched you? Well, why is everybody still here? Right? And I can talk back to talk with. Often, we don't get, a lot of people stay. I love the fact that people stay. So, I wanna know, what is it, just if you feel like sharing it, what was it that you loved about this which would make you want to see it again? What touched you or, yes,
Well, I think the way the story developed, like, totally had me on
yeah,
track the whole time, like, what comes next. And I totally did not know you were lying. I didn't expect you to be like,
Yeah.
great job.
yeah.
So I think that's what kept me, and I think it could totally bring a big audience. But then
Well,
I
yeah,
tried to
I
do
don't want a program for big audiences, but I'm always interested, cause I do believe what I said earlier, is that you, audience members, gotcha Glennie, yes, I know Melly's there. Audience members are 50% of what we do. It doesn't exist without you. And so and I don't program to sell tickets, but I'm interested in reaching people to hear what they, you know what I mean? And bringing something that makes us think a little bit, challenges a little bit, and you dig. So when I hear this, I see this, I go, there's some reception here. So I'm curious what that is. It's that, it's a beautiful form play, it's the story, is it the characters, you know? Yes.
I think it's mixing the light and the dark moments and just the wittiness of his writing.
Yeah.
Just the wordplay and, the little hidden comments that if you've been around long enough, you remember those.
Yeah, right.
Those
Cause he's got
stories, yeah.
tons of those little
Those
nuggets, stuff that
references,
makes
yeah.
me just howl, right? Yeah.
So I think it's just, it has its peaks and its valleys, it has its a great momentum, and I just think it's very engaging.
Cool, thank you. Here, and then I'm going over to Melanie, and then here, and then back, yes. And then we're gonna wrap, okay, you go,
Yeah,
yes.
it's pretty producible. It's a small cast, one set.
Oh, yeah.
So it does.
Yeah, that's right. You see?
Couple designers.
Yep.
That's good fun. Melanie.
We've got our own costumes.
I want to tell you, I raised one child, a girl child, and she lived in co-op houses with me most of her childhood. She is completely, as far as I can see, without homophobia. She had dear people in those co-ops,
Yeah.
those housing co-ops, like not regular things, just things that we cobbled together amongst us. She had people who loved her dearly,
Yep.
who happened to be gay,
Yep.
and that's kind of where she's at. It's like,
It's great.
and she was born in '68. She's 56 now, and oh, I'm so sorry.
That's great, Melanie, thank you, John.
I want to add to that, although I didn't know Melanie was going to say that. I think it's almost ready. I would humbly and respectfully suggest that the young man, is it Blake, the name of the
Yes.
actor? Hi, nice work. That the character be tweaked somewhat as the grandfather of 17 and 18-year-olds. I can tell you that homophobia is alien to them. It's like another culture. They are proud of their queer friends. They love experimenting with being queer themselves. There was that one line about, I learned about gay people from my teachers. No, they don't. They learn about gay people from each other and from themselves. So that's the only area that I think needs touching.
In some ways, still, I think, as we mentioned before, is that, like, unfortunately, it still is happening, and again, small towns,
Yeah, I know.
big cities and such, like, and for even, like, speaking, I'm 28, I'm not 18, but even still, it's like, yeah, I'm not 18. But there, it still happens though, at the same time, what is Campbell's perspective on
Yeah,
queerness
so
and such,
the question then is what's useful for Campbell? What's
Yeah, I
useful for
think-
Peter to make Campbell into?
I think that is, because I'm acquainted with some persons around that age who think about gay people differently than they think
Yeah.
about non-gay people. So I don't think it's universal, but I do think it's very worth exploring what is most useful to this story in terms
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Campbell's
Can I
reaction.
just add to that?
Yep.
Campbell sort of in a quick rapid conversation was talking about when he found out about his grandfather, about watching hockey and stuff like that, baseball and whatever. So to me, that kid was very male.
Yep.
And seeing his grandmother and his grandfather together
for his whole life, it would be a bit of a shock.
Oh, yeah.
It would be shocking, and it would take your breath away.
And there's some TMI in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too much of it.
Yes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And-
that, for me, that played well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just have to say the state of the world too. We live next door to a province that is trying to get trans kids put away. You can't do anything about them.
Yeah.
We live next door to a neighbor to the south, which is trying to take gay rights away from people. The people there have trans rights for those poor people that are raising trans children. They are now in a maelstrom. It's just like a hurricane around them, and they're trying to protect those kids from that kind of shit. And it happens all the time. When same-sex marriage was approved in the United States, finally, Canada, third country in the world, yay. But when that happened there, not Planned Parenthood, but Focus on the Family took the fight across the ocean to Uganda, and they spoke in Russia, and they are responsible for why they wanted that gay people to be killed. Not just not married, but killed.
Uganda, yes.
In Uganda and in Russia. And that's their job, and they still are on that job. It's a hydra. You can cut down one head and they'll grow another one. They just, I don't know why, but they just hate us.
Am I allowed to say something?
Yes, Colleen, please do that. Please do.
Well, just speaking on that, like what I've noticed with a lot of young people now, or just in the culture of the world, is that there's a passivity in homophobia. It's almost cumulative now. There's not too many bullies, but there's a million bystanders. And so they kind of stack upon each other. You don't see it, but it lurks in the corners. And I think where we have a lot of voices vocalizing like allyship, there is also in each of the corners somebody that says nothing, but the actions that they take is not helping, and in that way that kind of like that passivity just adds up and adds up and adds up, and it gives like a bully just a mountain to climb to the top to say whatever the fuck they want over the cliff.
Yeah.
Sorry, my French.
No, well.
Your French is fine, Colleen. Your French is fine.
I just want to say one thing about the characters again. I think these two have a nice journey through the play, and your journey to me, I think, should be more interesting somehow. He starts there, but he doesn't really get.
Yeah.
He doesn't grow much.
Yeah.
Except to be accepted.
Yeah, we learn things about him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he changes.
Yeah.
So that's,
But
yeah.
I think us, the other two characters, change a fair bit, and there's a nice path of that to follow.
Yeah.
There is a path there, but I think this one could be.
Yeah.
Explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Explore is a good
okay.
word.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
do two more because we're in a festival and I gotta, get some sleep. Here, and then Fraser wants to say something. Yes.
I found that Campbell's reaction initially was shock, and he was very upset by it, because his grandfather was gay. But then he turned around really quickly,
Can't hear you.
very quickly.
She said he turned around very quickly. Sorry, somebody over here didn't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he changed his mind, you mean, or he got used to it, or somehow like accepted it quickly?
Yes, he seemed to just completely turn around in his attitude.
I think one of the things that we find out about him, and I think that we sort of played it a little bit, is that there's a huge amount of compassion in this boy that we sort of sense and feel. Like when he leaves that point and I say, it's pretty smart, or whatever I say,
Right, when he says, I will leave you guys
Yeah.
to it.
And he doesn't, and I would prove myself if I saw my grandfather kissing another man. I would, really, I really would. It's just like, so for him to do that, and for us to stand there and go, we're not backing down. We're gonna do it. We're just doing this. We're gonna stay here close to each other. He leaves. I don't know.
Stuff like, yeah, strong
But I think there's the
emotional
rewriting of the whole, a little bit of the character there.
Not good at math, though. We will.
Yeah, no math.
Not with the math.
But
It's
emotion.
hard to put all of this into 75 minutes, right? When you want to still condense the story and keep it going and keep the characters real, but in this, we're not doing
Time constraint.
well, it's not a time constraint, cause I think that's the art form, is to get down to write is the right things that need to be told at the right point, because it's not like a 6 weeks miniseries where you could, and so I think it's looking at that, and I mean, again, what I found very interesting was, and I did think he was a rural young man, but he was also a young man today, so the shock was more like, oh, it's my fucking it's a grandparents thing.
Shut up, you
Then
guys.
you go away, you think, and you go, oh, okay, like I don't know, it's kinda, and then the issue is because of the generosity of young people, that I felt he went away and got that, like what you were talking about, John, and stuff, but what I'd love to see more is what I really appreciated was that there is not an understanding, and this was what I was gonna ask you, Fraser, do you think, as a young person now, and you, that there is a real understanding, because you guys are so accepting of diversity and difference, if there's a real understanding of what Alan has experienced, right? Other than now, it's so great, and that's behind us now. We're all moving forward. It's so great. You know what I mean? When there's people who have just fucking soldiered. Like soldiered. This is a soldier, right?
We talked a little bit about that this morning.
Yeah.
As I said, we talked about history and culture, and the gay history and gay culture, and is it the same or is it different? And I work with somebody who's my senior, and he's telling me these stories, and so again it was like, wow, there's so many similarities, and but yet so many different experiences and different language and different things to look out for. We talked about that too. Yeah, there's different words that it doesn't happen in our time now, but because they had to lay low,
Yeah.
So at the same time, I think it goes to anything, it could go into any topic of, knowing your history and where it's come from and stuff too. So again, it's like our responsibility as us young to not just, take it for what it is, and love it and experience it, but again, to just really have an understanding of its origins and its history and stuff too, so.
Perfect.
Like, I'm really glad that you brought this up, because this is something that's on my mind a lot, especially as a queer young artist, because, while it's touched on in the play that queerness is being taught in schools, the history is still not being taught. Like, I didn't learn about Stonewall from any kind of educator. I had to do that myself. And I actually went and visited the Stonewall Memoriam in New York. I was lucky enough to, and I just bawled the entire time because
you're queer.
Yeah, because I'm queer, and that is my history. Like,
There's somebody
in your
fought
DNA, baby.
for that.
it is,
Yeah.
like, it affects me so emotionally, even though I wasn't around for it, but just like, that's the history. It's so important, and I think that it's really kind of tragic that a lot of people in my age group don't know about any of the fight that happened, or they don't have a big perspective on the AIDS crisis, because there's so much impactful knowledge there that we should be continuing, and I try to find a good guide to the handkerchief code. I can't find that anywhere. I've been
I'll write it next for
searching.
you.
Please, this is history I'm absolutely dying to know, because it is so within me, even though I wasn't around. It's in the community. It's felt through all generations, and I think that's why this play is important. I think that's why it is frankly ready to be a full-scale production, because it's multi-generational, and it's teaching about queer history from the mouth of a queer person, which is again very impactful and very important, because of everything we've all talked about this evening. But that's why I'm very grateful for this opportunity to work on this and this cast. Like, each and every one of you is amazing and brings something to the table, and I've gone through a learning curve tonight. Like, I just sit there pressing a button, but hearing the stories, watching the play, it's a learning curve even for me, and it's absolutely incredible to even have the opportunity to learn. So I think that is what it should be widespread.
I've had relationships with both men and women through my life. In fact, my longest relationship, and the only person I'm still friends with that I had as a lover, is a woman, Marcy. And that was 8 years. But I decided at some point that, just exactly what you were talking about, that I could call myself bisexual, I could call, there's lots of names I could fall under, but I've chosen to be queer, gay, because that is what makes the strings of my heart
Sing.
quiver and play loudly. I can't see watch any kind of anything happening to gay people and not cry, or not see a march of people standing up for their rights and not fucking cry my eyes out. And so to me, that is what I am, you know. And it's
And I'm gonna leave it on that.
And I love theater. It's so great. It's so great to be on stage again. And I don't get to do it enough. It is just fucking great to be with actors.